Hey, I'm Nate Flax.
I'm Noah McGuire.
And this is Talking Lion.
Talking Lion is a podcast focused on artist-to-artist conversation.
We're primarily artists, a duo called Sleeping Lion, but we've been lucky enough to write, produce, and hang out with so many incredible rising artists since we started our project.
Whether it's at sessions or parties or over cups of coffee, we've talked with our creative friends about everything. Music, life, love, and all the subtle complexities that come with being in the middle of a journey.
Talking Lion is about hitting record on these conversations and sharing them with you. There's no real structure, nothing really prepared, just friends talking about life and what it's been like and where it's going.
We now have a Patreon for fans of our show to help keep this going. Subscribers will become a part of the show in various ways, from providing questions to our guests, to getting a shout out on the show, to actually being on the show to chat with us. We'll even send you a mug.
So check out our Patreon at patreon.com/talkinglion. We recorded this episode with our good friend Salem Ilese.
I first met Salem in Boston through her manager Carol Carlson and wound up in a session with her and Bendik Moller, where we wrote her first single, Impatient. Since then, we collaborated on the entirety of her EP, 757.
Likewise, I first met Salem a year later while she was visiting LA, after hearing a lot about her from Noah. We wrote a song called Splinter together in our first session, and we've all been good friends ever since.
Some context for this interview. We recorded this on March 7th, and it was our last in-person interview we did before the quarantine. Salem had recently released a single called Roses to His Ex.
An incredible songwriter with endless concept ideas, Salem has become a rising voice in pop music that we're grateful to call our close friend and collaborator. So,
without further ado,
I'm Salem, and this is Talking Lion.
well, hello.
Hi.
Before we were recording, we were talking about Werthers in comparison to lifesavers.
Yes.
And how Werthers you can choke on them, but lifesavers you can't.
Yeah.
So this episode is brought to you by Werthers and the construction outside the house.
woohoo.
Love that.
How are you, Salem?
I am great. I'm excited to be here.
Well, it's
How
funny.
are
I
you
feel
guys?
like this is like well overdue. Like
Yes.
considering, we all kind of go back a decent amount.
Heck yeah.
But we finally got a day in the books. We finally got a day to
It's
do
exciting.
the whole thing. And you had some songs that come out recently. There's songs that are coming out that will probably be out by the time this comes out. So there's a lot that we can chat about. Let's start all the way at the beginning.
Okay.
You're from San Francisco?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember just because there was the one time that we all went out to San Francisco.
We were all in San Francisco together.
And we had
a fun time.
We had a full day.
We did.
That was actually like highlight of the year. It was just really fun, like wandering with you and Bendik.
That was wonderful. I tell that story a lot.
Which part of it? Because there's the story of just the regular day, and then there's the story of how we almost died.
Yeah, so it starts usually at the fake ID incident.
Oh, yeah.
We went to the arcade, and I was waiting in line, and then we get there, and the bouncer's like, hi, like, it's my first day. I have to get my manager in to check all these IDs, because, most of them were from out of the U.S. So the manager comes, and he looks at mine. He's like, oh, Connecticut, this is easy. Snaps it. And he's like, come back when you're not 12. I love that.
Got him.
Humiliating.
Well,
Wonderful.
so then we decided to like walk to the next
Then
bar.
it was your idea to walk. We were in the Panhandle, and you wanted to walk to a bar.
I don't know
in
locations.
Pack Heights,
I don't know anything about San Francisco.
Which
Which is precisely why you shouldn't have been the one leading this expedition.
Yeah,
I don't know who let me leave.
You wouldn't show me. You wouldn't show me the map.
Oh,
you were
yeah.
like, I was like, oh, so how
No,
long?
I think you knew that no one would want to walk, but this is
Yeah.
the only way to get there.
Yeah, and you were like, oh, it's not far. I'm like, okay, it's like 10 minutes. You were like, no, it was like 40 minutes. We were trekking for 40 minutes.
I just was really enjoying the evening and wanted to just sort of walk.
It was great. Yeah,
Except
it's
for
a great evening. Except
well, so we were walking and we see this like guy like sort of in the distance, but then he's on the other side of the street and he's pretty quick.
yeah,
He's now somewhat
Saying
parallel
some
to us.
screaming at us a little.
He was screaming a little bit, and then he started whistling the Kill Bill theme.
Just the
which-
most terrifying thing you can do.
So
I
scary.
think like half of us knew what it was, and half of us like didn't know.
Mhm.
'Cause I know.
Bendik definitely did not know.
Yeah,
He had no idea.
I tensed up. I know there was one person who was wondering why we all freaked out at the same time, but we heard like the like a and we fucking
We just all simultaneously started
We just
sprinting.
started running.
so fucking
There was no discussion. We just
We just like,
all of us
well, we
just
slowly
all
started
fucking
accelerating,
ran. We
just all
and then we
just,
were
like,
full on running.
sprinting.
We just
That's the most I'd run in a very long time.
It was terrifying, and then we wound up at like a pirate themed bar.
Great bar.
It was a great bar.
Yeah, and the bartender gave us like that free shot at the very end.
Oh
We were the
yeah.
last people there in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave
we
us
have
the big
mug,
barrel
too.
mug. Yeah, yeah. They
I love it.
served rum.
Good memes.
Oh man,
That was
good.
really fun.
Well, so that was our first time in San Francisco, but you're
That was my last night in San Francisco, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because I moved out to LA
oh
Like
the
right,
morning
next day.
after.
right.
Mhm.
We were talking about like, oh, we should have coordinated better to carpool.
Yeah, and like race each other.
Yeah,
On the
yeah.
5.
What was it like growing up was it in the city or was it?
No, so I was born in the city, and then moved. My family and I moved to Mill Valley when I was like 2 or 3, because they wanted to put me in schools right outside the city, which was super fun. Yeah, I really liked it. It was nice.
Were you worried that if you broke any rules, they'd send you to Alcatraz?
No, I actually, the first time I had gone to Alcatraz was with a foreign exchange student from France that was staying at my house. I had never been. I like hadn't done anything touristy really, you know, 'cause I'm from there.
Sure.
So I just hadn't gotten around to it. And she really wanted to go to Alcatraz. So we did. And it was kind of underwhelming, to be
Well,
honest.
the fun part about like having like tourists in town is that you get to do the touristy
Yeah.
stuff. Like I mean, we go to Griffith anyway, but my favorite thing is like showing out of towners the observatory.
I
and
haven't
stuff.
been there yet.
We gotta go.
Yeah,
go.
We
gotta go.
Um,
Gotta do it.
That's awesome. Now, were you musical from a young age? Were your parents musical? Like what sort of
Yeah.
gave you the bug?
So my mom did a lot of singing. I think she played the flute as well when she was
Oh.
younger. But then she became more of a visual artist. So she did painting. She's a jewelry maker. Very talented. But that was kind of like the creative side of
Bracelet
things.
maker.
Yeah, she makes all my merch, my bracelets.
You have like a
if they
bag
come
of
to a
like
show.
hundreds of
I have
Salem
so
bracelets
many.
that your mom
I have
makes.
so many. They all have different song titles on them, and she's awesome. She like makes them before the song comes out. So like right when the song comes out, I already have the new song merch. She's the best.
I feel like it's like a collector's item. Like I want
Yeah.
one for each. I think I have one for each.
You
song.
definitely do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
you buy them in a set off of eBay
Yeah.
for $300.
Yeah, one day I'll start selling them. For now, I still just like throw them at people. I'm like, you can have one.
It's guerrilla marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a little music on that side. But when I was 4, I guess, I don't really remember, but I started singing just about random stuff. You know, I would talk about my stuffed animals. Like, I had a lot of Webkins and My Little Ponies.
I love
and
Webkins.
I would make songs about them. And I went to this camp that had a recording booth, and it was like a walk from my house. It was super close.
Was it a music camp?
No, it was,
So it was just
it
a
was called Steve and Kate's Camp. And it was just this amazing couple named Steve and Kate. And
I thought it was one guy named Stephen Kate.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought too.
I was like,
Stephen
I was like
Kate's camp.
Stephen Kate's camp. I'm like, what's this guy and why does this specific man need to
What
have a
name.
camp?
Stephen Kate.
I like
No,
to imagine it was like a
Steve-
day camp that also just had a swim in the lake and
Yeah.
play tetherball and also record your demos.
Yes,
you
no,
know?
that's
Oh.
literally what it was. So they had like,
Like
they had a
Camp
rock
Rock.
climbing wall. They had like bathtub races. It was very odd. It was like carts that looked like bathtubs and
Okay.
they were motorized. You went around a track. It was honestly like a kid's dream. It was so cool, and it was 5 minutes from my house. So I'd go there every summer, every day. And I tried everything. They had like clay. So it was really just like me testing out what I wanted to do in life. And I was terrible at everything except the recording booth. So I was just in there all the time. And I have all these CDs from when I was like 4 and
Aw.
5. And one day when I release my first album, I'm going to put them all as bonus tracks. They're
Aw.
terribly embarrassing. But yeah, so my parents caught on really fast. They were like, oh, she likes music. She likes singing. Let's put her in chorus. So I did some chorus classes in elementary school and liked it. I did some musical theater. And then I did a songwriting program when I was 12, and it was in the marina of San Francisco. It was like in Fort Mason Center, super nice location, right on the water. It was kind of like a little bit of like a hippie camp. It was really fun. Everyone was super chill. I was the youngest person. So I showed up, and then the instructor was Bonnie Hayes,
Oh
who,
shit.
yeah, is now the head of the songwriting department at Berklee College of Music. And she literally like took me under her wing. I think the first thing she said to me, I walked in with like a JCPenney shirt on and it had sequins all over it. And I walked in and she was like, I have the same shirt. Let's twin. And I was like,
that.
okay.
Wait, so
She's great.
Was she working at Berkeley at the time, and this
No.
was just her summer gig? Or-
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, she hadn't been offered the job yet. She's just from San Francisco.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, I think she actually started that program, Blue Bear. which I owe so much to. They're amazing.
Bonnie's
Some
like
good
the
people
glue
there.
that holds the songwriting department
Yeah,
together.
she's amazing. Yeah.
Like she's and what I liked about her is like I was never like in the songwriting classes or anything like that, but she made sure to keep an ear to the ground for anybody not in the major who was still sort of like making
Yeah.
moves and stuff.
I love that.
So she talked to us, like she made sure to know like not just what was happening in the songwriting classes, but like outside.
Yeah, she really cared about the ethos of the major.
You know?
Yeah.
I also love that you like found your passion in summer camp.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like summer camp is like so formative.
It really is.
Looking back, I didn't do any of the activities in summer camp, but spent a lot of time playing Pokemon on my Game Boy, which I think was all the training I needed for the music industry. Because now
There you
it's just
go.
everybody coming up to me and challenging me to a duel.
Yeah.
That
You know,
is the
that's
music
the same
industry.
That is
thing.
the music
Well,
industry.
likewise, I went to the 2 summer. I never went to like American like paddle your canoe down a like river kind of camp. But because I was super into video games, my parents were like, oh, let's put him in nerd camp. I went to cyber
Nerd
camp 2
camp.
years in a row.
No way.
Which was like video game design camp. And
Oh,
I
that's
did like
so
video game
cool.
design courses and was just in a camp with a bunch of super nerds for a couple weeks. And it was in the second round of this camp that I went to that they had rock bands set up. And that's when I was like, I realized that I was gravitating more towards the music side of the video games than the video game side of the video games. And that's when that was the moment for me that I look back on that I'm like, that's when I was like, I don't want to be one of these nerds. I want to be a different kind of nerd.
I might.
Musical
A
nerd.
musical nerd.
So when did you start writing songs?
Oh boy. I mean, if you count my stuffed animal songs, then I guess 4. But probably seriously, like 12, I would say.
What like made you realize you could write like a thing? Because I feel like I listened to so much music growing up, but the actual idea that you could make it, because it felt like a sort of turning point. Was it just
I don't
you're like
know.
screw it, this is fun. I'm gonna write some words and do.
You know, I think it started because I'm not very good at learning songs. Like learning covers is never my strong suit. I don't know why. Just like memorizing other people's lyrics is harder for me than memorizing my own. So as a kid, I would always just sing whatever, you know? Like I wouldn't sing a song. I would just sing and whatever came out.
Somewhat similar. I remember I was a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then I remember crying to my dad that like there was no piano in a lot of their songs. I was a piano player, and my dad sort of like said, "Well, if you want songs with piano, make a song with a piano."
That's great advice.
Huh.
That's wise.
That's
I love that.
All right. Now, were you in any bands or performing while you were in high school?
I did a little performing, but it was all by myself. Just me and a keyboard. I wanted to be Nora Jones really bad. I wanted to be
Big
like
vibe.
adult
Same.
contemporary,
Jazz?
folk vibes. A little bit of jazz. Yeah, I liked all the chord changes. It was so funny. Like I used way more theory in my writing like before I went to Berkeley than I ever do now.
That's
It's
so
so
funny.
funny. Listening back to like the stuff I did when I was 15, it's wild. There's so many chord
honestly,
changes.
same. Yeah. Like I feel like
Right?
I went to
Yeah.
Berkeley wanting to like make all this crazy
Yeah.
music, and I learned like everything I ever needed to learn about that in like harmony too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fell in love with pop music, and I was like, never mind.
No, I didn't know you could play outside the key until I got to school.
Really?
And then they're teaching you like secondary dominance and like all that whatever, and I'm just like, you can't play that note in that key.
Yeah.
Like what?
That's not allowed.
That's not allowed.
Someone actually told me that in a session the other day.
Like they're like
Yeah.
that's not allowed.
I played a song and they were like, that's all great except for that one synth line. That's just, it's wrong. I'm like, what?
Excuse me.
They're like, yeah, it's not in the key. It's non-diatonic. I'm like, I know, that's why I put it in there.
Yeah, have you heard
They're like, It's just wrong though.
the song "Yeah" by Usher?
Probably.
It's got that whistle line that goes weird. You heard the guitar solo in "Give You Hell" by All American Rejects?
Yes.
So good.
You know,
Amazing.
It's got that crazy like just lands on some. gnarly
no,
note.
but yeah, but that's the thing is, I guess when I was learning with like I learned kind of from my dad and from my grandma, and I remember when we would play, like I would sort of solo over my dad playing chords, and my dad would be like,
nice.
"Okay, we're in this key, which means you can play these notes, but you can't play these notes." And so in my head, it's like you can play
a
these notes,
roll.
but you can't play these
That's
notes.
wild.
And yeah, then you get to Berkeley, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way,
It's
you can
jazz."
play all of them." I'm like, "That's
Yeah.
fucked up."
You mess up, just call it
Learn this Charlie
jazz.
Parker tune.
But then and it's
See
like,
what
but you can't play
happens.
minor seconds. But then also sometimes you can play minor seconds, and sometimes you should play minor seconds. And I'm like, oh man, you gotta. I was like, oh, gee golly whiz.
Gee, golly whiz. Yeah,
And then I
feel like
overdid it on
Berkeley-
the flat 2 major 7 chord.
We've
I
all
think-
got our vices.
I think Berkeley just taught me how to make everything more simple.
Yeah.
Like really strip it down to what it needs to be. You know, taught me all the chords and then said use maybe 4.
Yeah.
See what you can do with that.
I feel like a lot of like what I learned in theory or whatever came down to if the song wants it, that's what you should do. Like I feel like there are a lot of people who will throw these crazy chords and then like try to write a melody around it. I know all these people who also write crazy melodies and then try to throw chords around it.
Yeah.
The big thing is like I feel oftentimes like there's songs want something specifically. Like they have their own sort of internal driving energy and force. And
I so agree.
you know, that's why there's that alliteration and that rhyme and that melody line or whatever. Like there is, I think, a best version of a song
Yeah.
in everything, you know, every song that winds up getting made. And sometimes not the best version of the song comes out. I think like it's like the idea of like you got a block of marble and the thing's already in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've
That's
always
a cool
way
to
felt
think
that
of
way.
it. I always think of it as like a little puzzle.
Yeah, well, it's
Like a Rubik's
a
Cube.
$1 million word puzzle, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like some people are like SpongeBob and they just like hit it once and it's like the David,
Facts.
you know?
Yeah, and then it's just
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, and
Just
then
shining.
other people, you gotta like you chip away at it. It's like
Definitely.
yeah, but it's like it's there, it's in there, you know. And I feel like what just theory taught me was like, okay, if I'm hearing this thing, or like if it needs something or it needs something weird or it needs something, you know, unstable or whatever, this is how you get there and this is how you get out.
Yeah.
But I feel like anybody who's like, you can't do that, or like the theory is wrong, I'm like, fuck off, please, let me live.
I look at the relationship between lyric and melody kind of similar as what you were saying. So like, you know, instead of writing a crazy melody and then trying to fit all the lyrics in, or opposite, I always think that if you know what you want to say, then, and if you have like, you know, something resembling the lyric that you know you want to have in it, there's a melody that will best match it just by like the intonation of speaking the words.
Yeah.
So I always try and like, if I have the chorus lyric, for example, I just try and say it and then see if there's a melody in the flow of how I said it and then try and piece it together that way.
When we're in sessions and like the track's playing and somebody's going like da 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 da, and they're like, can you write like lyrics that like go to that? I'm like,
That's my
may-
least favorite thing to do.
maybe, but also yeah, no.
But
Yeah.
also why?
Yeah,
like,
I'm because
It won't be great.
they're like I get where people are hearing sort of rhythms of melodies and whatever, and sometimes there are certain melodies that you have to that only work if you sing them with a certain rhythm. Likewise, certain rhythms that you can't do a lot of melodic stuff around. But by and large, it's like if you're trying to say something, I feel like that kind of comes first. And then, okay, maybe you try to match this thing, or maybe you try like, and I get that that's where the work comes in.
Yeah.
But when somebody's like, yeah, the rhythm could be something like da 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 da, I'm like, sick. Has any that's cool. All right. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading this article recently about how the meaning part of music and the sort of music part of music are processed in sort of different regions of the brain. And that's like our brain's ability to process like the lyrics and like the meaning of a song is processed in a different place and very differently by the audio part of the brain that just hears music, which makes perfect sense because like there are some people who just like hear music as music and have a hard time listening to lyrics. I kind of used to be one of those people. I'm less of that kind of person now, but like it's been kind of a conscious effort to listen more to meaning. But that's also why in a session, like you can go really deep into being like, how do we want this to sound versus what do we want it to mean? But the best stuff always tends to be right in the middle, or like where those
There's
two
a
parts
marriage
of the
of the
brain
two.
are working
Yeah.
together.
Wow.
Or no
it's just, like,
compromise are being
Yeah,
made
no
between the
compromise are
two.
being made, or yeah, that you're, you know, and like you can like chip away at like finding the middle ground, but like sometimes it just clicks. Like sometimes it's just there, like where the meaning and the sort of melody are like one and the same, and that's like what we're all trying to find.
Two things. The first is that I feel like you don't need to necessarily compromise what you're trying to say for what works musically. Like there's always going to be a rhyme or something that works that you don't have to force that, like whatever. That's where the work comes in. But the other thing for me personally is that I like writing lyrics. So if if somebody comes in and they're like, they don't really give a fuck about what they're saying, then, that's like hiring like a landscaper to trim your Okay, new metaphor. It's like calling a mechanic to like fix your bike, like your bicycle. You know, it's like yeah, I guess I could sort of do that, but that's not what I spent my time learning how to do. You know, like I get the parts make sense.
Yeah. I like
know?
working with people that will let me go crazy on my lyrical rampages and then help me fix the melodies. Like people who, like, for example, yes, you and Bendik, like the three of us make such a great team, I feel like, because that always ends up happening. It's like, I know what I want to say, and then we kind of get there, and then it's like tweaking all the melodies because, you know.
Yeah, because I personally love the like tweaking of melodies. Like I love just like, okay, if we move this syllable around and like this part could be more symmetrical this way. Like I just love that side of it.
That is not
like,
my strong suit. I'm that with lyrics.
Well, but often he'll take he'll take my lyrics and then like, okay, like change one or two words to make it work with a different melody or work in a different rhythm or like match something that happened.
Yeah, you're great.
That's
at
like
that.
it's like a little math puzzle. It is a different part of the brain to the part of to the other part of my brain. It's just like I just want to write poetry and be an artist. Like that's like I can connect with that side of it too, but like I feel like I just love the like stupid tinkery mechanic math part of it.
Well, that was what I loved about writing Splinter with you.
That was such a fun
That was like the first day we'd ever met. You guys
that was
met.
the first time we met, wasn't it?
That was the first time we met. You guys had known each other for almost a year before you and I
we
actually
met when we wrote Impatient.
Yes.
That was great.
we can tell that story.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna reference.
Yeah.
You know, we met. We wrote the song Splinter, but the Splinter is such a wordy song.
It is.
And all of the like a lot of the rhymes, like our internal rhymes and alliterations, like it was definitely like two lyric people going at it for a song.
Just pages of lyrics.
Just pages of lyrics, you know.
I love that though.
But yeah, I mean it's also just like that's one of my favorite songs in general, but like also the fact that was our first day ever meeting. But it was interesting meeting you, and now we're gonna circle back because it was interesting meeting you because I was legitimately nervous. Because I had heard
I was nervous.
I had heard so much about you from Noah, and also just like you're an insane writer. Like you're just so good. So you're like, okay, well she's coming by, she's writing. Noah's in Boston. We're gonna have a session. I'm gonna have to make a good first impression because she's worked with Noah for months now. I gotta bring the A game up.
I hope you guys know that I'm literally a fan of Sleeping Lion to my core. Genuinely, like when I went to Berkeley, that's what I listened to.
That's
you guys
wild.
were my role models at Berkeley.
Well, hey, we're big fans of you, obviously.
You know,
like I think that the people that I'm the most excited about in LA are the people who like, in a way, just scare the shit out of me a little bit. Like you, like Sofia Grapari, like there are people who just are
amazing.
Like who just write stuff that like
is good.
That are fucking good. And I'm like shit. Okay, like how and
you
great.
are also
and,
those
like,
people.
it feels like just like again like chipping away at the marble.
Yeah.
But okay. So you guys, how did you guys meet again? Like that.
So I'm trying to condense the details of this as much as possible. But in order to tell the story of how we met, I feel like I have to explain how I met Bendik in the first place. Because there was one night in Boston where I was at work. It was like 10 p.m. I was like texting Amelia Ali, our dear friend. And she's like, I'm bored. Do you want to come do a session like right now? And I'm like, yeah, screw it. Like that seems fun. And I went over to Bendik's house and met him for the first time. And we wrote Beautiful that night. And then I like at work the next morning, like sent over a bounce, and like it was like kind of a like, especially now that the record's out and it's like a whole thing. Like it was a very different direction, and it was like a lot of weird production ideas. But I feel like Bendik, fucked with it, and that was it. Like that was the only time Bendik and I ever worked together. And then like a week later, Caroline Carlson hits me up and has like, hey, like I have this artist who I've been working with, and I think she's really talented, and I'm looking for like indie pop producers, and Bendik recommended you. And I'm like, I just met that guy like a week ago. Like he recommended me for this. I'm like, yeah, sure. Like and then Carol sent me some of your demos, and I listened to it. I'm like, whoa, the writing on this is insane. Like this is like some of the craziest writing.
What did she
I've heard.
send you? I'm trying to think of what I had even back then.
This was like
my first
it was like Modern
year.
Tragedy was the one that I heard, and I was like, okay, whoa, like that's like because I feel like. I mean, not to be too jaded or cynical, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like songwritery songs at Berkeley where people are just like, I don't know. There's like a lot of people who like write really generic stuff. And
the June Moon Spoons.
The June Moon Spoons.
Or like the songwriter songs.
Yeah, and also just like the sort of I want to be so and so. Like I want to be Julia Michaels type songs where it's like someone's just like taking such cues from something that they're really into. And like that's a totally fine way to like grow as an artist. But like what struck me so much about like even something like Modern Tragedy, I'm just like, this person like has like such a fun and unique just thing about her. Like right from the jump, I'm like, I would like love to like work on this project.
Thanks.
And then we set up that session with you, me, and Bendik, and that's when the three of us all met for the first time, and we wrote Impatient.
If the clock stops now, then I am in trouble. Oh, I can't slow down when my mind's in double time. Feels like everything I do is taking place in a waiting room. On occasion, I can be impatient.
That was a great
It was a fun day.
That was amazing.
What do
I
you
was
guys remember
so
in that
scared.
session? Like what was something that like made that song come alive for y'all?
I'm trying to remember like
It
what
literally feels like a blur to me
It
because I
was
was
so- yeah.
terrified.
I was terrified.
That
too.
was like my first like professional seeming session. So yeah, Caroline Carlson, she's my savior.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout
Freaking
out.
queen. I love her. So yeah, I was a scared little Berkeley freshman in my second semester, and I went to a song screening. And I actually remember almost not going because it was snowing heavily, and I was bundled up in my bed. I'm like, I should not leave this bed, but I did. And I was there 20 minutes late, rolled on up, and then Modern Tragedy is what I ended up playing, but it was like the worst bedroom demo I had ever done. I'm not a producer. I can do like, you know, a solid bedroom demo. And I prefaced that to the people. I was like, yeah, like this is very much a demo. And the mix was terrible. My vocals were like way too loud. You could barely hear anything else. But Caroline was there and she Facebook messaged me afterwards and she was like, hey, I really liked your song. I work in the A&R club. I would love to help you out with some stuff. Let's grab a coffee. So I went to meet her, and I actually met Caitlin Thornton that day too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had a little coffee together. It was amazing. We were in the downstairs area of 150 just chatting. She was like, yeah, I would love to help you make a body of work. And I was like, okay, like what? She's like, an EP. And I didn't even know like you know what that entailed. I was like, okay, like how do I go about that? Do I just get these songs produced? And she's like, well, I think you should actually do some writing sessions. And you know, I wrote with people before, but I never like had a proper writing session where I like schedule a time and you go in, you do a thing, and you leave with a demo. So she told me about you and about Bendik, and the way Bendik describes it is he actually didn't like anything that Caroline had sent him of me, but he owed Caroline a favor. So he
That's
was
the
like,
most Bendik thing,
That
I
is the
think.
most Bendik
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So he was like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll work with this small child. Yeah.
One
and
apartment
then-
later, 2 apartments later, one apartment later.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we showed up, and Caroline stayed the whole time through the Impatient session,
Yeah.
which I was also terrified of because I was like, oh, I need to impress her, like, you know. And then she ended up managing me, which was amazing.
I was also terrified during that session. Like
Why were you terrified?
I don't know. I think I was just going through something. At least my honest perspective or memory of that session is that I felt like I sat in the room and did nothing. I felt like I wanted to be like, all right, like I want to be better about being a writer in sessions, and I feel like I just didn't contribute anything of value other than like maybe some piano chords, and I'm like, that's all I'm ever gonna be.
That is
I'm
the
just good at
opposite
piano
of what I was
chords. And I went
thinking.
to the bathroom and I have a Finsta post from then where I felt so shitty that day. Like I
Really?
actually felt terrible
Oh my
in that
goodness.
session. I felt like such a bout of imposter syndrome,
No.
which is really funny looking back.
That baffles me beyond, because I was thinking the exact same thing
No, yeah.
in my position. I was like, oh, they're doing so much. Like, I need to contribute more.
But that's, I think there's something really beautiful looking back about that like,
Yeah.
despite all of our like blistering insecurity, that like something beautiful still came out of it. That even though we
Yeah.
were all doubting ourselves, we still like just organically like wrote a really good song and like started like a beautiful friendship. And that's
You really
just,
did.
That's just,
Yeah, that day means so much.
yeah.
I think
On
Bendik was
occasion,
the
you
only
guys
one
can
not
be
doubting
impatient.
himself during that
Yeah.
during that session. I think he was just like having a good time.
Yeah,
and we both were like anxious.
If anything, yeah, he's probably the glue that held it together because he
Definitely.
wasn't thinking at all about it. He was
Yeah.
just
He was
a
like,
day at
beep
the
boop.
office.
Yeah, exactly. Another day, write another song.
What's your favorite line from that song?
Oh
From,
boy.
from Impatient.
Oh, garden smells like gasoline.
My garden smells like gasoline. On the bus, I dream of limousines. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I have a question. What's that line about?
Yeah, so everyone asks me this, and I think I give a different answer every time. Let's just reminisce about how that line came to be. I know I did not suggest it. I think it was you.
Maybe.
I think it was you, or it was Bendik, or someone said, I know that we thought of gasoline first as a rhyme, and we're like, oh, that's a great rhyme. And then someone said garden, and someone said garden smells like gasoline. And then we all were like, oh, that's brilliant. Wait, what does it mean?
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, that's brilliant. So we were thinking like, you're in a city, you don't really have a garden. It's just like a bus driving by.
Yeah.
That would be
Oh.
your replacement garden.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
It'd be like the absence of a garden.
Okay,
It's just like
yeah,
an
I'm
industrial area.
What's I might have said this to you at one point, Sarah, but like what was interesting about the context of you guys also starting to work together is that when we moved out to Los Angeles together in September of 2017, but Noah went back to Berkeley to get his degree January of 2018.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is that I remember getting a call probably around February. I remember actually I was in the last session with Sarah from Chance Violet. We were finishing Long Shot when Noah called, and he was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm not just staying for the spring semester. I'm also going to do a summer semester. I have to do a summer semester to get the degree. And I remember like for the first time really just like panicking about our career. I was like, okay, well, if I'm here and you're in Boston, like, how are you going to do this? Like, but he was like, don't worry. Like, we're going to do this thing remote as we always do, but also I'm working with people out here, like in Boston, who are moving out to Los Angeles, and they are awesome. They're really great people. And I was like, sure, okay, Berkeley people, whatever, like small
Like, okay,
comforts,
Berkeley
June Moon
people.
Spoons, songwriters, whatever. like no shade, but I was like, okay, like cool. And then I heard Impatient, and I was like, okay, now I get it. Cool, like everything's fine. Like we're all bueno. So it was really cool because in a lot of ways I feel like one of the bigger hurdles that we faced when we moved to Los Angeles was the fact that Noah and I had to split up for a couple months, but the upside of that wound up being this insane and incredible relationship that we've all built in this sort of like community.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing him during that time.
Of course.
I'm so grateful for
Well,
it.
don't you feel the wave of like this whole thing too? Like between like you and Venegas and Alex and Eden and Tim's and Sarah Elliott and like and Sophia Gripari and all. I mean, I'm missing people. Bendik, Alna. Did I say Tim's? Everybody in this sort of like half Berkeley, but also like Pepper, like all this sort of people who wound up sort of connecting. It does start. It's starting to feel like a community, and also like this. Alex Burrell, shout out.
Or the incoming freshman class of the pop music industry.
Yeah.
I love
Rosie. I'm now resigned to I'm forgetting somebody important and amazing. But yeah, it does feel like there's now this like community. Kaylee, there we go. I'm just okay. More people. It just feels like there's this community of people who are making cool stuff, but like coming up together with it.
Yeah. I feel super grateful to be included in that awesome community too, especially since I feel like I'm a little bit of the imposter. I kind of hopped on, because I was 2 grades younger. I decided to drop out. The same time everyone was moving to LA. Cause I'm like, no, all my friends are leaving. Like all my closest collaborators. That was definitely like one of the biggest reasons. I was like, yeah, peace out, Berkeley.
No, we're the old guys that are hopping on the year younger than us. All of our friends already, all of our year already popped off.
Well, exactly. I remember facing like seeing the wave of like Annika Wells, Jake Torrey, like Dwilly, like all the people who I was in Hot 100 with. Like I remember seeing like a lot of them drop out halfway through and just be like, all right, we're off to the races, and being like, wait, you're kind of my people.
Yeah.
But I was like not in a place to like be on that ship.
We started late anyway.
Yeah, I've always felt late to whatever game I was in. So at least it's nice to just, find a home in all the people who are around me doing cool things.
Find a home in the homies.
Definitely.
Home in the homies.
Oh, I love that.
So you guys made a record together. You guys made 757. That's a whole ass album. Whole ass EP.
It is. It makes me so happy.
What was this sort of? Because what's fun about that record, and what's fun about just like whenever Noah works on something that I'm not a part of, I always just hear it through the walls. So always low passed, just.
I'm so sorry.
I'm always just hearing it through the walls. But I just remember like these songs starting to sort of take shape in my world, just hearing, the airplanes in 757 or
Yeah,
like
you would always text me updates.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, Time Machine sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Like Through the Walls, it's crazy.
But also
right
Through
now.
the Walls, I'm like, is the lyric like Time
Oh,
Machine? I'm
Garden
with
Smells Like
James
Gasoline.
Dean. I do it all
You
the
told me
time.
that, and I think about that so often. I'm like, shit, would that have been a better line? With James Dean.
With James
so
Dean.
good.
I just thought you can't
Beautiful
hear
mix
anything
here.
through the walls. But
Yeah.
how did each song sort of come to be? Like if I just want like little anecdotes. I want to be the fly on the wall
Okay.
on that
I love
thing.
that.
Yeah.
So Impatient was the first one, obviously.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful session. And the next one, I think, was Rochambeau.
Oh yeah.
And I think that, yeah, Bendik and I had our first session, just the two of us.
Where you guys fell in
And-
love.
So in my eyes, it's where we fell in love. In his eyes, it's still him doing a favor to Caroline. Genuinely.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
about this day so often. So we go
That's
in,
hilarious.
and I have a concept list that I bring that I've had for like, maybe 6 years at this point. Like I've never not had a list of concepts in my phone just because it's my all-time security blanket. for
Which I want to
songwriting
dive
sessions.
into later
Yeah,
because
we
I've
can
seen that
definitely
list.
talk about that.
And
It's extensive. It's hilarious. It's a lot of things. But I roll up with my concept list, and I mentioned Rochambeau as being a title I wanted to write. My dad actually thought of that. It was not me at all. He always used to say like Rochambeau for rock, paper, scissors. I don't know
Okay.
where it came from. I think it actually came from a Swedish soccer team trying to decide who started the game. They would do Rochambeau. But anyways, he was always saying like, oh, you should make a song called Rochambeau. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. That's a great idea. So I brought it in. We spent like, a few minutes trying to figure out how to spin it. We're like, oh, it'd be cool to make it like, between two people who kind of like each other, and they're playing like this game of Rochambeau to see like who makes the first move.
Yeah.
Crazy foreshadowing that neither of us saw. Absolutely wild.
Well, when Noah was working on it and then found out that you guys were starting to go out, like Noah was like, people we know.
People we
Like,
know.
People we know.
Like, and then he's,
In-
he's listening to Rochambeau. He's like, oh shit.
In retrospect,
like,
it was Alex Venegas and Caitlin Thornton at a party at our house who was like who were like Bendik and Salem were dating, and I dropped my drink basically. Like I was like, what? Like
Oh my
people
God.
we know.
No, we stressed out so much about how to like tell you. So like, this is gonna be so funny. Like, how are we gonna
I
break? It's
freaked
Noah.
out.
Like, that's amazing. Yeah, no, but then we wrote for like 2 hours and really couldn't think of much. It was a very slow session at the beginning. We were just going back and forth with melodies. It took us 2 hours just to nail down the like.
Rochambeau, Rochambeau, let's play again.
We got that, and then we kind of saw that the energy was dying a little, and Bendik was like, "Okay, let's go get a pizza." And I was like, "Are we allowed to do that in the middle of a session?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's just go get a pizza and like talk." So we walked across the street, got a pizza.
Wait, where'd you get pizza?
Jeez, I don't know. It was a place that wouldn't accept his credit card though. We had issues because he needed they wouldn't accept his Norwegian credit card.
That's
Hilarious. We finally got the pizza, went up and sat on his roof at 7 Price Road back in Alston.
Yeah.
And it was the craziest roof. I hadn't been like on a Boston roof
Mm.
just because I still lived in dorms at that point.
right.
So it was wild. to
What
me.
dorm were you, by the way?
I was 270.
Hey,
Yeah,
the best
represent.
people come from
Best people come from
270.
270.
Gotta love it. And then I was also in 150 over the summer for a bit.
It's the best people
Yeah.
who then go from 270 to 150. Yeah.
Squad.
Squad.
270 was crazy.
Love
So we were
270.
sitting on the roof and we were just talking about everything. And he's a storyteller, Bendik. So he was telling me all these stories about like, drunk nights, about like, him and Amelia, just all this fun stuff. And I remember thinking like, oh, this guy's really cool. Like he's a cool person. Like, this is interesting. And then we went down and we literally finished the whole song in like 45 minutes after that. Recorded a demo. We were like, this is awesome. Great. So we really just need to like get to know each other from then.
Why not shoot for the best and come with me? Let's see what we get. 1, 2, 3, let's shoot for the best. Let's see what leads.
You're like, my heart now beats for you, Bendik. And Bendik was just like, sick, we're done. I'm going to go
Exactly.
play or
Yeah.
watch TV. Or
It's very funny. I wish he was here to tell his side of things because it definitely looks very different.
I always, just as a general rule, wish Bendik were here to tell his side of things in any scenario.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's so funny. And then 757, same kind of scenario. I came in, I had the chorus lyrics and a little bit of the melody. And it was like, we liked the whole childlike melody.
Let's take off in the 757. White knuckle it till we land in heaven. Count all the clouds as a sign of triumph. White knuckle it until fly
I remember when we started the process of the EP, you had a couple things. I remember I got sent like a page, like an
Yes, the
email,
email.
where you were like, oh, like I kind of want to write a song, maybe about a plane. And I'm like, cool. Like you had, I mean, maybe this is after you had written Rochambeau. But I remember getting a document of like, here are some ideas for like songs.
That did happen. I think that was before Rochambeau, actually. Yeah, because Bendik actually emailed me before our first session and said, send me some titles you have or concepts. And I sent I sent the word Impatient. And then I sent Rochambeau. I think I sent 77. There was like a few. And then there was a bunch of others that did not make the cut. Yeah, that's so funny. But yeah, the thing behind 757, so originally the song is about moving to LA and wanting to be like, peace out Boston, peace out all of my college problems and everything I'm feeling right now. I just want to move on with life. And like, we're better than all the bullshit. Right. Basically. Take off in a 757. Deeper meaning behind 757. I'm terrified of planes. Planes. I write about it all the time, especially with you, Noah. I don't know why. Like Fawi.
Yeah, Fawi. That was just like the first hour of that session was just like talking about your fear of flying in depth.
Do you mention in Fawi?
Yeah.
No, one of the original lyrics was like, what if this plane goes down? Like that's where it started.
The second verse is my mind works in the strangest way. Thinks every plane's heading straight for the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep, we had to get it in there. Had to get it in the plane line.
Fuck what if?
I don't know why I'm terrified of planes. I was never like this up until, I guess it was when I was like 12. I went to Nashville. No, I must have been like 15. I went to Nashville for the worst meeting ever. It was absurd. It was this management company and they tried to work with me. And they were like, yeah, pay us $30,000 and then we'll sign you. I was like, okay, maybe not. So it was a waste of a trip, all in all. But the plane ride back, there was a storm going from Nashville to California. And the plane was just like shaking. And then all of a sudden it freaking drops like 10,000 feet and then keeps going and is shaking. This lasts like 45 minutes of the worst turbulence I've ever experienced. And the thing that really got me is the pilot did not say anything. Whoa. So literally everyone was screaming. People were crying. Everyone was saying their goodbyes. We all thought we were going down because no one was saying anything. We just thought something terrible was happening to the plane. And then it landed and the pilot was like, okay, thanks everyone. Have a good night. We were like, what in the hell? But that, I think, was the first time I really thought about the concept of being in a plane. You're literally in a metal box in the sky, 30,000 feet in the sky. And like, how much would it hurt if that metal box fell?
I honestly, I love flying. I think like, I know that there's like a big old fear about flying, but in my head, it was one of those things. Like, I used to be afraid of bridges as a kid.
I feel that.
Like,
did you see Bridge to Terabithia?
Yeah.
Crazy sad.
Yeah, crazy sad. Though I don't think she dies. She dies from the rope swing.
Yeah, wasn't that because the bridge broke though?
No, the rope swing broke off the tree.
Never mind.
What's the
crazy movie though?
No, I don't think there's actually a bridge in Bridge.
Is there not?
Oh yeah, it's more of a conceptual bridge.
It's a conceptual bridge. Yeah, the bridge. The bridge is the gap between mother and child.
It's also the gap between childhood innocence and then the harshness of adulthood and loss and grief.
And loss and grief. Whoa. Wow.
Wild movie.
Wow. Okay. No, but actually, it was iRobot.
That made you scared of bridges?
That made me scared of bridges.
I haven't seen
because he gets knocked like in his.
Is that why we don't wear bridges anymore?
Yeah.
Wow.
Zing.
Great.
I'm scared.
Great music.
Scared of bridges. No, it's
beautiful.
Scared of bridges. Then I kind of like adopted like a Zen idea about it, which is like, if I make it over the bridge, I can't complain. But if I fall off the bridge, I literally can't complain. But I also love just being up in a plane and suddenly being suspended. Like it's almost like your life is like you don't exist in time. You don't exist in space.
See, I like to exist in time and space.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like
call me old fashioned, but I like to exist
your
in
Wi-Fi
time
is your Wi-Fi is slow.
Yeah, I like to know that I'm standing on solid ground, at all times.
You can sleep whenever you want.
You're like, this is awesome. Yeah, great. The funniest thing I've ever heard about someone liking planes is Caroline Carlson told me she liked planes because she didn't have to respond to emails. No, that's me. For 5 to 7 hours.
That's 100%
like, wow, you are the busiest person I know.
I like, for me, it's that I don't have to reply to texts. That like for 6 hours, my phone is dead silent.
Yeah.
It's on airplane mode. And that's what it's used for.
That's what it's for.
I have a new respect for that. Now when I'm on planes, I really, really like the fact that I'm not, attached to the media for a minute.
Well, a little 757
757
action.
Yeah. I've been trying to sing that song
melody.
every
It was
airline.
Oh yeah.
If
He liked
any
the
airline
whole-
Gotta happen
people
eventually.
hear
Childlike
this,
melody.
listen to 757 by
Spirit.
Salem.
The
last 30 seconds are made for an airline commercial.
Made for an airline commercial, right?
Made
Like,
for it. It's perfect.
I'm gonna
Just saying.
drop the last 30 seconds right here.
Let's take off in 757. Let's take off in 757. 'Cause we're better than it all.
I'm gonna keep that in there too.
That was beautiful.
All right, so and then you got Time Machine.
Time Machine. So that one was funny. That was actually, that started out with me and Chloe Kopoloff. She's the only outside writer on the whole EP. We were in a practice room, I think on a Sunday, hanging out. Caroline also set up that session. And I think we wrote 2 songs that day. And we only wrote half of Time Machine, but we both liked it. We're like, oh, this is cool. And we wrote it on piano, which was wild because I never write anything on piano.
I love writing on
Like,
the piano.
since my high school Nora Jones phase, I never write anything on piano. So that happened. And then I remember taking it to you and Bendik. And Bendik was like, okay, but there's no chorus. And then he added like the post-chorus part, which is, you know. And then I remember we started the production one day and I just like saw it come to life. I'm like, this is so cool. And then I think he also added the bridge section. Yeah, he basically just like, you know, turned everything around and made it a certifiable pop song. And then you guys put your amazing spin on it and it became not a ballad anymore.
Yeah,
Now
that was
it's
the one.
very
That was
much
one
not a
in
ballad.
that.
Noah's very good at making. I write so many ballads, and then Noah
And he's
takes it and makes
"Just
it a pop
kidding."
song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
great.
if anything,
Great skill.
I think the reason we're in a indie folk pop duo together is we both have ballad gravity. We both tend to make things slower than they need to be. So Time Machine was definitely one of those ones that like I was trying to keep, because like a lot of the references when we were going into the EP were like Sylvan
Nora
Esso
Jones.
and like what
Yeah.
and like Marion
I-
Hill, like
Oh my
super,
God, I did
and like
give you the
Lord
Marion
melodrama,
Hill.
like really
Yes,
minimal. So I was trying to
on that
approach it
melodrama
like
hype.
how much can I get away with just a kick drum and a piano, and like how much can I make that groove? And I tried my best, but it just wasn't like at a certain point. Bendik, because Time Machine was definitely one of those ones that like I did a pass at. Bendik was like, let me reproduce this from the stems and see what I do with it. And he swung it like really heavy, and then he sent it back. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that is so cool that it is swung like that. And then once I had that piece, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go fucking in on this production. And Time Machine was probably one of the more fun ones for me to do, just because of the groove.
It sounds like you had a great time with it.
No,
Yeah.
literally, the at least for me, the moment that Time Machine clicked as a producer was I was trying to find some fun little percussion thing, and I was sitting here and I was like playing the loop of the chorus, and I just started like, I want something that goes like. And then I just recorded that and spent like an hour just like layering it with a bunch of other
That's what
percussion
that is?
instruments. Yeah, that like.
Oh my God. I was trying to figure out what that was the other day, actually, because I was
Yeah.
going through all the stems for the
Yeah.
live set.
Yeah.
Trying to like put the background tracks together. And I heard that and I was like, that is such a weird, nice little percussion sound.
Yeah,
all the percussion in that is absurd.
Yeah,
It's so
it was
cool.
me clicking in my mouth like a crazy person, and then just like
I wish I had
making
seen
it sound more expensive over the course.
There are
of
times I walk into the
awesome.
studio and Noah's just making weird sounds on the mic, and I'm just like, all right, that's a new piece of sound
That's
design.
what
We're gonna hear
Yeah.
That's why
later.
they
There
paid
you
me the
go.
big bucks.
the genius. That's
Um,
awesome.
Am I missing a song? Is there one more
There's
song?
Bad Word and Numbers Game.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bad Word and Numbers
So
Game.
those two have a similar story. Those were both ones that I wrote in my dorm room, just alone on my freaking, laptop. I think I just used like a Logic preset synth and recorded shitty demos.
Which is still in the record of Bad Word.
That's
isn't it?
true. For Bad Word, actually, we did keep whatever
Kept
thing
a lot-
I used.
a
I
lot-
think it was Luminous Times.
Luminous Times.
I think we kept
that's-
Luminous
I
Times.
use Luminous Times on You Made Me. It's a good
Gotta
alchemy
love
preset.
Luminous Times. Shout out Logic. for
Shout
that
out
one.
Luminous Times.
That was a fun one.
I
Yeah.
really like Bad Word.
Such a bad word. 4 letters, 1 syllable. Such a bad word. Once it's said, it's unkillable.
Bad Word is
Thank you.
yeah. Like,
that was the only one that I wrote alone that didn't get changed. Because Numbers Game, Bendik went in a little on the writing and tweaked the bridge. Actually, he cut down like half of the chorus. He like rearranged everything, and then he took the pre and cut out half the bridge and put the pre in the second half of the bridge, which was just fucking mind blowing.
Wow.
It made the song, in my opinion. I was like, oh, I would never have thought of that.
Yeah.
Just like
Numbers
puzzle
Game, I
pieced
feel
it.
like went through the biggest evolution. 'Cause
that was
It's a massive song.
But the numbers game, honey, if it's all the same to you, I'm glad to lose, 'cause all these numbers make me wanna curse your name.
it's a
ballad
yeah.
at first.
Well, and I don't have it anymore, but the very original demo was like
we
there's still
listened to it the last session we had
Oh, yeah, yeah,
producing
yeah.
it. We listened to the original after we were completely done producing it up.
It was,
And we were
like, really
wow, this
cute
has
and, like,
gone through a lot.
It was well. I mean, my original demo was just like this really slow, like kind of like Jack
Yeah.
Antonoff, Taylor Swifty
Uh-huh.
thing.
The numbers game, honey, if it's all the same to you, I'm glad to lose, 'cause all these numbers make me wanna curse your name.
But your original demo
love
had
that
like
demo.
it was really like blippy and cute
I
and had
used
like all these
trap
crazy
hats.
synths.
The numbers game, honey, if it's all the same to you, I'm glad to lose, 'cause all these numbers make me wanna curse your name.
Oh yeah, and the
Oh my
trap hats in the
God.
chorus. It
Which
was
is
like,
the funniest thing because I have never used trap hat since on anything. I actually tell people to not use trap hats on my stuff because it's so off brand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I myself put in trap hats because I didn't know how to produce it all. And I was like, oh, what do people do? I guess they put in this really high-pitched hi-hat and they do it a lot. And that's what I did all through the chorus was just freaking trap hats.
obviously the song developed in a completely different universe.
Yeah, it's
but,
a
like,
rock
there's-
song.
There's still
it's very rock
there's still
influenced now.
well, I think what's cool to me is
And
that there's
then-
still a lot of really cool stuff about that demo. The little like counter synth that's like, oh, it's a numbers game. Doo 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 doo. Like you had really cool production ideas like from the jump.
I also did not know how to edit vocals, so nothing was tuned. And like I think there was just like reverb turned all the way up. It was so funny.
Well, I like Bad Word too because
Thanks.
Numbers Game is like a slammer. Like
Yeah.
it's absolutely like it's a slammer. Bad Word feels to me like it scratches that itch that like almost like Splinter does of just sort of like dark and like but also just like a little bit melancholic but also earnest. Such a bad word
Thank
that so
you.
badly wants to be heard.
Such a bad word that so badly wants to be heard.
Like I love that. It's like it's love and everybody
I have a
just
funny
wants.
story about why I actually wrote a song about the word love.
Yeah.
So this girl that I didn't like very much at the time because she hooked up with my ex while we were kind of still together. I was very upset about it. She released a song that day, the day that I wrote Bad Word, and it was about love. It was just like a love song, presumably about the guy that I was hooking up with. And I remember me being very petty. I was in my dorm alone and sad, and I thought, you know what? I can write a better song about love. So I was like, okay, what should my concept be? Love. And then I was like, oh, I'll just write about the word love. So that's when it came about.
Well, I like the idea of it being almost like a curse word.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Yeah.
word. It's a word. Hell, you hear it on The Bachelor, and it's like
True.
it's like I think I'm falling for you.
Oh.
Oh, and that's
Everyone's
a big
just
move.
like,
It's just like
"Oh,
I
no."
am almost in love with you, and then it's like I
Oh.
love you, and then you're like, oh my god, are we in the season finale?
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Like it's a big,
Wild
it's
show.
a big word.
Oh
Although I
my
do
God,
love when
I
you
was
post
trying
it on
to figure out what
Instagram
that
where it's
was
just
the
like
other
four
day.
letters, one
Yeah.
syllable, and then everybody like wrote like fuck and boobs and like whatever.
People to this day message me and they're like, what's the word? Is it fuck? And I'm like, what? I think it's the funniest thing. Like, I can't even count the amount of people that thought it was fuck. Genuinely thought it was fuck.
Just goes to show how
How
people's
much
brains
people,
work.
yeah, how
Hey,
much
through
people
the
listen
walls,
to lyrics.
through the walls. That's what I thought it was.
That's amazing.
I'm just
But then, like, you listen to the lyrics
Oh, of
once
course,
and you're
of
like,
course, of
oh,
course. Yeah.
it's not.
That's what I really like
Crazy.
about your writing is that there's always some sort of like twist on it. Like
Oh,
you don't,
thank you.
like maybe you're writing about love, maybe you're writing about planes, maybe you're writing about being impatient, but it's not just that. It's okay. It's that with like a spin. It's that with like, okay, it's not fuck, it's love. Like it's not about flying. It's about a fear of flying, but an excitement for whatever's coming next, et cetera, et cetera. It's not about playing rock, paper, scissors. It's about who's making the first move.
I want you
Yeah.
to write all my bios. You're
Happy to do it.
it's amazing. You're hyping me up so
I'll be your
much.
hype guy.
Yeah.
I'm
love
I'm
it.
fine with that. And then so you recently put out Roses to His Ex,
I did. That was
and
a
that
really fun
song
one.
is fucking awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
also a complicated concept.
Yeah.
That one, so I actually don't know how I thought of that concept. I woke up one morning and I looked through my concept list, as I do before a session, and that was the last thing I had written. And I remember I'd been out a little drunk the night before, and I don't know why, but I guess Bendik must have been talking about his ex, and I must have just written that in my concepts, because I woke up and the sentence, "I'd be best friends with his ex, LOL."
I would be
I would
besties
never
with
have thought
his
of that.
ex.
Was just written, puzzle pieced it with spelling errors in my concept list. And I was like, wait, that's awesome.
Did you write that in your sleep? You know?
Like, I have no idea where it came from to this day. Don't remember it, but I'm really happy that I went out that night, I guess, because I woke up and I was like, this would be cool. So I wrote it with Bendik, and we wrote it about his ex-girlfriend, like his actual ex. I looked up her Instagram page, and it was open the whole time
my
that we were
God.
writing the song. I was looking through, and I was like, damn, she seems so cool. I was like, oh, she visited LA. Like, maybe she's still there. Maybe we can get a coffee or something. And he was just like,
my
oh,
God.
God. He was like, oh, no, this is rough.
Well, I mean,
And
my
like,
original
I
demo
was
was
looking
just,
at her
like, really
outfits.
slow,
I'm like,
like,
oh, these
kinda
clothes
like,
are so
yeah,
cute.
like
Like, I would
Jack
totally
Antono's
wear
Taylor
this. Like, we genuinely, I still to this day think that we'd be very good friends if we just like hung out for a sec. But that's genuinely, like, everything is so real. She is a dancer. I do kind of hate that.
She's a dancer, kinda hate that.
Did you guys chat after the song?
So, someone told me that I should request to follow her on Instagram. And I did the night of the release. And she followed me back a few days later and DM'd me, which is just a crazy thing to do. I respect the heck out of her. She DM'd me, and she she was like, "Let me actually pull it up. It's a
Oh
great,
my
it's
God.
a
Oh
great
my
DM." Bendik and I was actually rock climbing when I saw it with Ivan, who is one of the co-producers on the song, and we both screamed. We were like, this is amazing that she had the balls to DM me.
I respect the game, you know, respect the hustle.
You gotta
Yeah.
respect the hustle.
She said, "Great song. I bet it's not a coincidence that you started following me?" with a rose emoji. Just amazing. So I said, haha, thank you for the inspiration, with a bunch of rose emojis. And she goes, haha, if you ever play in Norway, I'll definitely be there. And I was like, oh, thank you. I'll let you know if I do.
You should give her a rose if you ever go to Norway.
I definitely will do that. So yeah, I still think we'd be friends. I think she's great. I think it's hilarious that she reached out.
It
Really
is-
happy about it.
It is a weird thing because you imagine the people that you're with, you know, everybody changes and grows, whatever, but like fundamentally everybody's the same. So stands to reason that they'll probably wind out going out with people who have things that are somewhat similar
That
to
are
you.
in common, yeah.
One of my best friends out here is my ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend.
Oh boy.
And
you
like
go.
I think I see him more than I see her. Like me and her are good. I think we like him and I hang out weekly. Like I've worked on films with him. Like he's become one of my closest friends out here.
love that.
It's because we're kind of in our own kind of neurotic way similar.
Yeah.
And what I really appreciate about your song was I feel like there's not a lot of music that reflects that specific idea of like, I guess my ex has to have like, you know, good taste in people, because otherwise
One would hope.
what does that say
Yeah.
about you?
That's
know,
very
like,
true.
so, you
Yeah.
know, stands to reason you all would have enough in common.
Yeah. No, for that one, I definitely wanted to touch upon that just because I feel like, you know, it makes a lot of sense why we would be friends. Like if he felt the same about both of us, just if you put the weirdness aside of all of that, we're probably pretty similar people, you know, have a fun little hang. But also I wanted to spin how we look at the ex in a positive light as
Right.
opposed to negative. Because, you know, most people in a relationship are like, oh yeah, like I hate his ex. Like they're always like scared about them or jealous or something in a very negative light. So I just wanted to see what it would be like to spin that and be like, no, his ex is probably awesome.
Well, that's like I think a big sort of turning point in my head and general growth, etc. Was just like recognizing that like in my head the only like this person is evil and like has no morals or like whatever. But the truth is that like all he did wrong, quote unquote, was care about this person as much as I did.
Exactly.
You know, like
Yeah.
he wants the same thing I do. So, you know, recognizing that like that it doesn't make you evil for like caring about somebody or falling in love with somebody.
Definitely.
And you know, sometimes just things don't work out, you know.
Also, if you look at it, like if I put myself in the position of being the ex to someone else. Like I'm thinking of, you know, a past relationship, a guy that's currently with someone else. I'm thinking like, oh, she should probably thank me because I definitely taught him a
him
lot
things,
about
yeah.
relationships and vice versa.
Yeah.
But-
Well, and that's the thing too, is like
It's all love.
I, in a lot of ways, and maybe I should, you know, I'll talk to a therapist about this, but I feel like
We can be your therapist.
I
today.
judge a lot of like my own personal growth on how it's recognized by exes. Like you see like, oh yeah, I was kind of a shit when we were together. Hopefully you see that I've like grown up a little bit, not for the sake of going out again or whatever, but just like
to see
you
the
knew
growth. I'd
me
be
really
best friends
well
with his ex.
in
LOL.
that person that I was, and I hope that you can know me well enough now to like see that there's a change.
I love that. Yeah, I try and stay on good terms with my exes.
I
Just because it feels like a lot of time and energy lost if I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm not at least on decent terms with them, it's like, oh, well, then I wasted all this time getting to know someone and appreciating them as a human just to not know them anymore, which makes me sad.
It is sad.
What's the next song you're putting out?
The next one is called Mad at Disney.
Oh.
Yeah, I did it with Bendik Moller
Don't
and
tell Meg.
Jason Haas. It was a really fun one. It came about because Jason, we had a session with him. It was the first time that I had met him. It was actually the first time Bendik had met him too, which is funny because they both worked on Amelia Records in the past.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They had just never seen each other. So
What's
we
funny
get
that
there.
Jason's like roommates with Alex Venegas.
Yes,
But
they were not
also-
roommates at the time.
Okay.
This was
Yeah.
before. This was when he still
I do
lived
kinda
in
hate
Santa
that.
Monica.
But he also produced a lot with Miranda Glory,
Yes.
who we just
Who's
all went to
awesome.
Mel's with and everything.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
we moved
yeah,
it,
yeah. Exactly. I love
Um,
Miranda.
Is it Mad at Disney like for bad expectations of romance?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
great.
For a
But
second
it did
took
not
me-
start like that. So Jason, originally we were just talking and he was like, I'm really mad at Disney. And we were like, why? And I'm like secretly typing that down.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that's interesting. We were talking about the Lion King remake. And we had a whole conversation about how the upcoming generation is not going to experience the same type of animated films that we did. You know, everything is super lifelike now. And that kind of takes away a little bit of the creativity in my mind.
I
You
think
know,
the
when
magic
everything
too,
looks
yeah.
too real. Yeah, it takes away the magic. When everything looks too real, then it feels, I don't know.
Well, I feel like you can almost connect more with cartoons because there is almost that like suspension of disbelief already.
Yeah.
Like in the
Yeah,
same way that
definitely.
like BoJack and Rick and Morty and like whatever, like you've got these
amazing.
shows that are talking about really deep concepts, but I think can pull it off because it's not.
Because it's a cartoon. It's not
yeah.
made to look like actual people.
It doesn't feel like melodrama because there's already a heightened level of realism.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we were talking about that. We were talking about how it's kind of sad that like, you know, people aren't going to grow up anymore on the old version of The Lion King. They're going to do it with the remake. And it's happening with every movie with higher budgets, higher quality.
But
on
that
the
doesn't necessarily
screen.
mean they're better.
Doesn't mean
Yeah.
better. It does not mean better.
What's the chorus? Like, what's the hook?
I felt bad love. I felt sad love. Sometimes happy love turns into giving up. I felt hurt love by the word love. What the hell is love supposed to feel like?
Cause I felt sad love, I felt bad love. Sometimes happy love turns into giving up. I felt hurt love by the word love. What the hell is love supposed to feel like? What the hell is
Yeah. Mad at Disney only comes in the first verse and then tags at the very end.
Where does it come in the first verse?
I'm mad at Disney. They tricked me, had me wishing on a shooting star. Now I'm 20 something and I still know nothing about who I am or what I'm not.
I'm mad at Disney, Disney. They tricked me, had me wishing on a shooting star. But now I'm 20 something. I still know nothing about who I am or what I'm not.
Yeah.
Bars.
Fucking bars.
Thanks.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then the whole second verse is like talking about how Snow White got a divorce and the prince cheated on her with Sleeping Beauty.
Yo, did you ever read Fables?
No.
Fables is an awesome comic series about like all the sort of fairy tale characters living in Brooklyn.
I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Someone also told me about this.
It's awesome
Okay, I need to
because
check it out now.
because Prince Charming is actually one person, and his exes are Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and all
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
like they're pissed. You know, they're pissed at him. The main
He's the
character,
worst.
the main character is a sheriff named Bigsby, who is the big bad wolf.
Oh.
But he's like human and he's like kind of kept his wolfness like under wraps, but
Oh,
people
cool.
like the three little pigs still hate him, and like a lot of people like hold grudges against like who he used to be. But he's like, no, I've changed. Like I'm not like blowing your house down or eating people anymore. Like I'm just a sheriff. I'm just the cop around here.
This is
Yeah.
a wild thing. I need to read this.
Yeah, I was a big Fable fan. Like,
That's
I
really
liked-
cool.
I just thought you'd appreciate it, especially
Yeah, thank
with
you.
your take on
On Disney.
on Disney. Are you ready for the question round?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Wait, that's really good.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Welcome to the Talking Lion question round. Ba-da-da-bum-bum.
Thanks.
That's our theme song. What is your phone background?
My phone background, the lock screen is Hawaii. Then you
Nice.
open it, and the home page is me koala hugging Bendik.
Oh, that's really
That was
cute.
taken right after a big fight we had.
Nice. That's adorable. Do you have a non-musical hobby?
No, I'm trying to find one. I tried rock climbing. I'm terrible at it though, but I want to get better.
Finger painting.
Oh
Finger
yes,
painting.
finger painting.
It's in
That'll be the
books.
next hobby.
What skill would you like to have?
Oof, I wish I was a good dancer. I'm a terrible dancer.
Ballroom or
No, I wish I could do like just any dance that looks decent at a party.
oh, true.
I just flail or I stand in the corner.
Yeah.
Or on stage. I just
or you
just
flail
jump.
in the corner.
Yeah, I flail
the
in the
best.
corner.
That's
There you
my
go.
move,
On stage
flail
I
in the
just
corner.
jump up and down.
We have Just Dance playing alongside you.
Exactly.
You
That's
just-
why. It's because I can't dance. See? It would take a lot less time and energy
What's
if
the
I
name
could
of
just dance.
What's the name of that TV again?
Steve.
Steve.
So Steve actually broke. I need a new Steve.
no.
If anyone wants to
Steve is the TV. If anybody's
sell
got a
me their old
TV,
TV. Really old. Needs to have the big box in the back and have the 3 little input.
It's funny. I had a TV like that, but I don't back in Rome, but I don't think they have it anymore. Also,
Yeah.
it would
My
be a pain
parents
in the
had
ass
one
to
too. That's what I
transport.
grew up with, but it's now gone.
Same.
They're
Hey,
also so heavy.
right? Cause, well, because
I
it's
cannot
all the
lift it.
tubes. It's
Spoof
all
has
the,
to lift it.
Yeah.
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 Shout out Spoof.
Shout out
Shout out
Spoof.
Spoof.
Great guitar player.
What's your personal superpower?
Oh boy, my superpower. I don't know. I guess I would say my biggest strength is probably concepts. I love a good concept. So maybe that.
Yeah, honestly, I would have to agree.
That's a
Your
superpower.
concept
Ooh.
game is insane.
Or also interacting with dogs.
Yeah.
So this year I've gotten really good at it. A crazy fact that I'm just gonna like put out into the universe for everyone is that when a dog is going to the bathroom, it needs to make eye contact with somebody because it feels threatened.
Oh, me too.
Because if someone, yeah, right? So if someone charges it, it's defenseless while it's going to the bathroom. So every time I see a dog that's going to the bathroom, if the owner isn't paying attention, I take it upon myself to make eye contact with the dog. Please do that.
That's wild.
You're the hero we don't deserve, but we need right now.
You're the hero the dogs need.
yeah,
yeah.
I'm just trying to look
Yeah.
out for the neighborhood dogs, you know?
It's so wholesome.
Thank you.
And now the most important question.
Most important.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
Would you be a pirate?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the shoe, and I had a
Yeah,
feeling.
I figured.
Great question.
Yes.
I think I would. It'd be
Next
fun.
question. Do you have any tattoos?
I do not. I really, really, really want a tattoo. I'm
What
I'm
would be
so
the first
one?
indecisive. That's the thing. I want a tattoo so bad, and I don't want a tattoo of anything. Like I don't know what I want. I was talking to Peter Hanneman actually this week about getting a Mel's tattoo because I love Mel's.
The diner.
That's
yeah,
fun.
Mel's the
Love
diner.
by the
Nice
word
big
love.
tramp
What
stamp
the
with a
hell is
little
that supposed to be?
arrow. No, I'm kidding.
I'd get a Mel's
we
trip,
were all we
honestly.
were the last time we saw you. We were all at a Mel's. You
Yeah.
know, we shot the cover of How We Know at
At
the
Mel's?
in WeHo.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I love that.
In WeHo and
the one in
NoHo?
WeHo is
WeHo,
wild
yeah,
because I
WeHo.
went there at 3 a.m. and there was a valet and there was a 15-minute wait. It was absurd.
That makes
That's
sense.
Mel's.
That
Mel's in
tracks.
LA is crazy. I went to Mel's almost every day in high school though.
Listen, I'm more of a norms guy
Between
myself
me
when it
and
comes
Shooting
to
Star
shitty
and
California
now
diners.
20-something,
Never been
and
to
I still
Norm's.
know nothing.
Same
about
thing.
who
I can't
Shitty
cheat,
24-hour
though.
California.
Yeah. Same vibe.
I'd be cheating on Mel's.
I
Mel's
get
is
them
the
confused,
best.
to be honest.
So maybe that. Yeah, maybe that
A
tattoo.
Mel's tattoo. I like that. Can we get matching Mel's tattoos?
Please. Yeah, I want everyone to get a Mel's tattoo.
Because
That's
I
the
feel like I've
vibe.
been overthinking my first tattoo, and I feel
Me
like
too.
I'm either never gonna do it, or it's gonna be something stupid.
Oh, my mom and I have also talked about getting a matching tattoo somewhere. Like I would get a star and she would get a moon or something.
Aw.
I think we talked about like our finger. That'd be really cute. So
That's
that's a
adorable.
plan. Yeah.
What was the first concert you attended?
Oh, my first concert was a Glee concert.
Yes.
Yes.
I bawled.
I can imagine.
literally cried so hard. It was with my friend Lauren, and our moms were friends, and they got us tickets. We went, and we both were like, "Oh, this is gonna be dope." We were acting all cool about it. We're like, "Oh yeah, no big deal. We're just gonna go see Glee." And then Rachel Berry walked on stage, and we both looked at each other and just started sobbing.
Oh my god. Was it wait? So like, was it all like who was on this tour?
It was like the
Was
whole.
Cord on the tour?
Yes, I think he was. Oh,
That would make
that's
sense.
wild. Oh,
You gotta be like, hey, not to
I
be
need to
weird,
talk to
Cord,
his
but
manager about
you were my first concert ever.
I didn't even think about
So
that.
we just had a session with him, and I didn't know anything about him.
No way.
So,
you
like-
didn't recognize him vaguely?
I never watched Glee. Yeah, no,
You didn't watch
Blast
Glee?
No.
Did
No.
you watch Glee?
I watched the shit out of Glee.
Thank God.
No, I
Me
didn't watch.
too.
I didn't watch
Every
Glee because when
episode.
Glee first came out, it was the perfect show for me to hate. Because when Glee came out,
amazing.
I was in middle school or high school.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who was into it were like the popular kids who I hated. It was pop music, which at the time I hated. It was a cappella, which at the time I hated. Yeah, it was just everything about it. And then it was everybody telling me, "Oh, you're gonna like this music show because you
Yeah.
like music," which
You
is
need to watch
my
Glee.
biggest pet peeve.
Exactly.
You were like, "You're gonna love Whiplash." I'm like, I fucking hated Whiplash.
I haven't seen
Like,
Whiplash. I'm the worst.
most
You should watch the
fake
pilot of Glee
musician.
now and see
yeah,
Yeah.
see
how
if
you
it
go.
holds
You
up.
actually should.
Yeah. But it's
It's
funny because
wild.
he was in the session. Noah hadn't communicated to me who Cord was.
I didn't want it to be
No,
weird. I didn't want to be
no.
weird
I mean,
because
there
I
was,
was.
yeah.
there was no time for him to like
Yeah.
say it, but also like
I also kind of thought you would look him up.
right. I usually do. I didn't.
It's so funny.
And so he came in, and I put him up on our story,
and then everyone
then
was like, Sam from Glee.
Yeah.
everybody was freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh my goodness. Oh, Love Story by Taylor Swift, probably.
Wow.
That's a good one.
I love Taylor Swift. Ooh, Mr. Brightside also.
That's yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
I've
The
definitely
Killers are
done
my
that
favorite
one
band in the
a
whole
lot.
entire universe. I love them.
All Star.
Also is a good one.
Good one.
What's your favorite movie, favorite book, and favorite TV show?
Stress. Favorite book, I'm going out of order. Jane Eyre. It's the only book I liked all through high school. I don't know why. I just thought it was really sweet. Favorite TV show, Friends.
Nice.
Favorite movie, Breakfast Club.
Nice.
I love the Breakfast Club. Thanks.
Some feel-good content.
How about you?
Oh.
It gets
Never been
quiet.
put on the
Are you
spot
allowed to
like
do
this.
that?
Are you,
Is she allowed to do
is
that?
she allowed to
Am
do
I
Is she
that?
allowed
allowed to do that?
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
How about you?
Okay. Favorite shit. Okay. Favorite movie. Probably Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Nice.
With Mike Birbiglia as my girlfriend's boyfriend following. I loved Snowpiercer last night.
Which is one movie, Nate. Don't you're not even ask for your top 5.
Okay, shit. All right, fuck. All right. And then TV show. Favorite from the 90s would be Frasier.
Nice.
Favorite from the 2000s would probably be House.
You cannot pick one, can you?
Favorite from the 2010s, probably You're the Worst. Oh wait, no, but there was also okay. Oh man,
So glad.
or
I
Get
asked.
Shorty. Favorite book: Infinite Jest or Dream of Perpetual Motion, or The Pillow Man.
Nice.
You shouldn't have asked.
I shouldn't have, but I appreciate the answers.
No, you're up.
All right, my favorite movie is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Great movie.
Fuck, that's so good.
My favorite TV show, I think I'm gonna go with You're the Worst
I haven't seen that.
as a favorite TV
We
show.
moved to Echo Park because You're the Worst,
Yeah.
so that show's got
Okay,
some
I'm gonna watch
significance.
It's really a cult classic. For,
Awesome.
for me. I'm trying to think if we've got a better one. I don't think.
Favorite
I
movie in
do.
2020: Cats.
Cats, great
Oh
movie.
God.
Favorite.
I've seen it twice.
Have you actually? I haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
first time I saw it, Darren Criss was in the audience,
No
and
way.
we all were rowdy as hell. We were just fucking losing it.
That's awesome.
So he led us in a chant of Mr. Mistopheles. Favorite book?
Favorite book is a tough one. That I think is the hardest. Infinite Jest is an obvious one, but I don't think that's it. Yeah, I'm just gonna lean into myself and say Zen the Auto Motorcycle Maintenance.
Ooh,
Nice.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
Do you have a favorite sound?
Favorite sound. Puppies.
Nice.
Yeah. Or Lord singing.
Also nice.
Thanks.
What's the best date you've been on?
Oh my goodness. Best date. Definitely one with Bendik. We went jet skiing one time. That was very fun.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So this wasn't really a date. This was more of a gift. So for his last birthday, he's obsessed with penguins. Penguins are like his favorite animal. which is amazing because he's not really an animal person. He doesn't like dogs, but he loves penguins. So for his birthday, I looked up a way for him to like meet a penguin because I just really wanted to see him interact with one. And I found out that the Long Beach Aquarium does penguin encounters.
Nice.
So we went to the Long Beach Aquarium. It was over Grammys weekend. I planned it kind of terribly, but we got to meet a penguin called Admiral Fancy Pants.
Yes.
And it was the best thing ever. It was probably just the cutest thing watching him freak out over an animal. And that was a fun one though.
I also love the name Admiral Fancy Pants, but also your pet lizard has a great name too.
Thank you. My pet lizard is named Little Cow.
Little cow.
Little Cow. Lil.
Little cow.
Skirt,
Great,
skirt.
great. Moo moo.
Moo
Moo
moo.
moo. Moo moo on the beat. I love Little Cow.
Little cow
Yeah.
for president.
Little Cow for president. I fully support that.
Do you have a scar with a story?
I don't think so.
Are you unscathed?
I definitely am not unscathed, but I can't at this moment think of a good scar story.
Okay.
I got a good scar story. The Lion King.
Got him. Oh. Wait, 2019 or the original?
Both have scar in it.
Yep.
Which one's better?
The original.
Thank God you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, which one's better?
Honestly,
Lion King
I'm
2.
gonna have a bone to pick with you.
Lion King 2. You got Kovu. You got Kiara. You got
Music by Elton John.
Music
and
by
Hans
Elton
Zimmer.
John and Hans Zimmer and Tim Rice. You got He Lives in You. You got
He lives in you.
He's Not One of Us.
Camomilla.
Yeah. Oh, I think
Deception.
Disgrace. I do think He Lives in You is
Simba.
my favorite intro song, which I know is a hot take.
Oh, I love He Lives in You.
Oh, it's so good.
I did a production of The Lion King in my middle school play. Yeah, it was a middle school play.
That's
and
awesome.
I got to sing He Lives in You.
That song's so
And I
good.
love that song.
He
It was like my
lives
first
in
attempt
you.
at belting ever. I like didn't know how to
He
belt. And I
lives
was just like,
in
ah! Screaming
He
it.
watches over
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was very fun.
That is good fun.
everything you say
All right. What do you?
into the
Oh
wall,
my god. I swear to God.
into the truth,
Salem.
in your reflection.
What are you most proud of?
He lives in
Oh my
you.
god.
We had to
We've lost
finish
control.
it. What am I most proud of?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I guess sticking with music forever. Like being unwavering in my decision to do music as a lifetime thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that is something to be proud
Probably
of.
that. And just still being alive, managing to not die.
And lastly, what are you most excited for?
Ooh. I'm excited to meet more people just in general. I love meeting people. I think it's fun to like, expand the community.
New friends.
Yeah, new friends. Gotta love that. I'm also excited to grow with my current friends. I feel like we're all gonna do cool things together. And it's gonna be really fun to see how everyone is thriving independently and together.
Whenever
Yeah, just
I
the future with everybody we know. Doing cool stuff.
Whenever I do get like anxious about like the future of our career or whatever, I think about our friends and our friend group.
Oh my God.
And like
yeah.
there are people in my head, it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna worry about like Sleeping Lion, then that means you're also worried about Salem, and you're also worried about Sophia, and you're also worried about, and I'm like, well, I don't worry about them because they're gonna make it. They're gonna be great. They're like, it's super, like
Exactly.
it's gonna happen. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm not worried about them, so I'm done worrying about us too.
Precisely.
It's
Precisely.
an,
all
in this together. And we know that we are. We're all stars, and we are. We're soaring.
Flying.
There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach. If we're trying, then we're breaking free. That was beautiful. Before we wrap, you got this concept list.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That one
boy.
time when it was during a session, we went to the Bright Spot.
I love that place.
Diner.
I drive by it sometimes and I think about how great it is.
Bright Spot was from You're the Worst, and that's how we found out about Echo Park.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right.
And
I need to go back there.
you showed us your concept list, and it was genuinely mind blowing. So I just,
Thank you.
if you wouldn't mind playing the greatest hits,
Oh boy.
what
Alrighty.
you got for us, Salem?
Today, okay. So one of them that I've half written, but I've been meaning to do better and beef up is The title is health insurance. The concept is please don't break my heart. My health insurance won't cover it.
Yo!
God damn.
That's
So good.
Thank you.
good.
It actually came about because I got E. coli and I was in the ER for 5 days. And my health insurance said I wasn't sick enough. So they refused to cover it. And they sent me a bill for $70,000, which I'm not paying. That's not happening.
Wait, so what are you going to do?
Can I? No. Will I? No. I'm fighting it. It's not going to happen. There's no chance. They wouldn't let me leave because I was on my deathbed
Holy
having E. coli.
shit.
Damn.
Health
Yeah.
insurance is fucked.
Right? Crazy. Yes, I want to expose them.
Bernie,
Okay, a
2020.
crazy concept. Number 2 on my concept list, and I made this concept list like 6 years ago, is thank God we didn't get matching tattoos. I've pitched this around in sessions for years. No one wanted to write it. And then Lauv released a song
Tattoos together.
called Tattoos Together. Oh, I have one that I haven't written still, and we've talked about this. Holiday Catholic.
Oh,
So I'm a holiday Catholic.
yeah.
I'm quite literally a holiday Catholic. I only go to church on Easter and Christmas Eve. And I feel like there's something cool in there about, not being able to commit to anything fully.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah. I want to raise a dog with you. I've put that as a verse lyric for many verses, but I feel like it deserves a chorus. I just, yeah.
It can graduate to a chorus.
Yeah, I don't want to have kids. I actually just want to have 100 dogs, and I'm not kidding about that.
Would you go as high as 101?
I would, and they would have to be Dalmatians at that point. They would.
I would
all
do
have
101
to be.
Yorkies.
That'd be great.
I feel like that's
That'd be
not
a
as fun
lot.
of a title.
Avalanche.
That's not as fun of a title.
Okay, another concept. Title will be Area 51. Concept, what's your Area 51? Show me your aliens. Just be asking someone, show me your
Show me
secrets.
your aliens.
I'm obsessed with
That's
Area 51. I don't know why. I think that Area 51 is so cool. And I really wanted to go to the raid.
I thought I was convinced you were actually gonna do it. You were so excited about it.
Planned on it. I had the whole maps thing rooted on my cell phone. I was getting up super early, but I had a session that day. And it just story of my damn life.
Where's your
But I
commitment
had
to
a
the
session.
cause,
Yeah, no, next year, guys. Next year. I'm
Next
leading a
year.
revolution. I want to make it into a music festival, actually, and I want to headline it. I want to dress up as an alien, and I want all of us to go and dress up as aliens.
Well, you already wear the
Play
light up
for the aliens.
shoes. Like,
yeah,
I know that's...
I'm halfway there. I wear the pigtails, alien-esque. I don't know. That's the dream, though.
You and Bendik also have that game where you take
Yes!
concepts, right?
Crazy game. Okay, this is the best game for songwriters ever, in my opinion. So what we do is we go on Spotify, pick a playlist, New Music Friday maybe, Pop Rising, whatever you want to listen to. Press shuffle. You look at the song title, and then you have until that song ends to think of a better way to spin the title. It doesn't have to be the same title by the end. It just has to have something from it that you pulled from. An example of what we got from that game, one of them, the song title was Jealous. So we spun it as I'm jealous of my boyfriend because he gets to love me. Just
Damn.
the most BDE song ever. Yeah, concept game. Big
Concept
fan.
game.
I need
Well,
to do
yeah,
that
you're
for
like
prom.
one of my favorite concept people. Like,
Oh,
it's
thank
like,
you. Oh.
Splinter was fun. Like, yeah, you
I don't
got
think
very...
that was my concept.
I think it was the rhyme that happened.
I think we thought of that in the room. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I love, I never have that happen. It's very rare, but I always love the sessions where we think of a concept in the room and it's awesome. It just doesn't usually happen that way.
Well, I didn't know you had all those,
Yeah, I have
think
my list.
I get really
got
anxious
the
about
list.
when somebody comes in with a concept.
Really?
I think of the hundreds of sessions we've done, we wrote off of a concept for like the first time a week or two ago. Wow. Like this guy came in and was like, what if we wrote a song called this? And we did it and we liked it. But most of the time I get really anxious by concepts. I feel like your concepts are really nice and fresh, so I wouldn't feel as like, sort of suffocated by it. But I feel oftentimes people are like, what if like the song was sort of like about like letting go and it was called like Letting Go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
And but it's like, when people come in with like concepts, like 9 times out of 10, I think this doesn't like, it doesn't
That's so interesting.
play, like it doesn't vibe with me. At least yours are clever. Like
I
yours,
appreciate that.
yeah. Health
For me, it's
health
just,
insurance is fucking.
Yeah, that's like one of those.
Thank you.
That's like one of those punchlines where you're just like, how did I not come up with that? Like
Yeah,
it's like
that's so
it's like,
nice,
you're
yeah.
so good at those kinds of things where you're like, oh man, like that's just so fucking smart.
Later on, I can show you guys what I have of it so far, and you can help me out with it if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fun concept.
Well, anything else you want to shout out? Anything on the horizon?
I don't know. Thank you. This was amazing. Thank you guys so much for
Chris,
having
thanks
me.
for coming on. This
You
was
guys are the
long overdue.
homies and incredibly talented, and I'm so lucky to know you, be able to work with you all the time.
We'll
Truly
keep
blessed.
rising up together.
This was so fun. Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's take off in the 757. Let's take off in the 757. 'Cause we're better than it all.
We would like to thank Alan C. for supporting Talking Lion on Patreon and Isotope.